Market conditions majority bullish. S&P futures down slightly this morning. We've got 14 and 0 on the daily time frame in terms of the trend condition indicator. The overall uptrend, all 14 trends are in a bullish state currently. We're seeing that also on the weekly time frame. We were at all-time highs or retracing near those all-time highs. This fib tool is snapping to that all-time high on S&P futures. You can see that on the weekly time frame as well. So certainly extended to the upside, having a nice continuation trend here after a lot of volatility over the last few months. S&P 500 closed out at 14 and 14 on the daily and the weekly time frame. We did see breadth continue to soften here, back down to 67. Upper end of that range is 80, pulling back to 67. That means 67% of S&P 500 stocks are trading above their 50-day moving average. So we're seeing that overall breadth, that the number of stocks continuing or pushing this overall uptrend, weakening some. VIX also showing a little softness here on Friday, back up to 17. Couldn't quite hold that 15 range. See if we can push that back down, or if we're starting to get a little bit of hiccup here in volatility. We're seeing one bullish tick for the for VIX for volatility. So we're now starting to see a little bit of bullishness. And remember, bullishness for VIX, bullishness for volatility is bearish for stocks. And we have been kind of working towards our upper end of this range right here. And that's going to be the question, is how extended are we? Any retracement still should be bullish as we pull back into this upper demand location, that 6,200, 6,145 roughly. And that could still be an area of demand for buyers to come in. SHY short into the yield curve, seeing that still continue to soften. We've got majority bearish at 9 and 5. The weekly time frame is majority bullish, and that is what we would want to see for bonds, for the overall longer term trend of bonds to be continuing higher, because we want to see the overall downtrend or long-term trend in rates to continue to be dropping. So we got majority bearish on the 2-year Treasury. That's at 389, and a similar pattern here on the daily time frame. TLT, the longer end of that bond yield curve, is sitting right at 85. It's been finding support here now for a year or two, right around this level. That's equating to the 10-year looking at 443 currently, and still a slightly bullish trend overall, 14 and 0 on the weekly. It's now really compressed here on the daily time frame, 14 and 0. So we'll see if yields press a little bit higher. That can also add to this, to the market's perspective of selling at these levels also. So we want to really be aware of those three factors. We've got some softening here in the overall breadth of the market. We've got volatility, which is slightly increasing, and we've got the 10-year, which is also starting to move back up from that 420 range back up to that 440, 450 range. Dow Jones Industrial Average still sitting deeply into this supply block, and we'll see if it pushes through that area and gives us a new high on the Dow, like we've got on S&P 500 and triple Qs. Triple Qs also upper end of this range. These are all-time highs. Retracement level support upper end of the demand block is going to be around that 540 range. Russell 2000 also looking to see if we can press it up to that 230 range. We've got majority bullish here, some expansion of trend going on. Still relatively weak in terms of the overall pattern relative to the other indices. So we're not seeing as strong of confirmation in small caps as we are in some of the others. We're seeing oil push up a little bit here, 77 on USO. And if we grab this trend here, we'll look at that retracement from this swing low point to this swing high point and see where we're at. 236 is in view, 78 for that range. If we can push back up and hold above that 78, that puts us back into momentum for oil. And this weekly time frame is actually quite a bullish chart. If we just look at this pattern, the amount of consolidation that we've got right here, it's pushing back up into momentum. Keep an eye on oil. That could also be a potential headwind if we get a really big push in oil. Not there yet. It's been there. It's been in this range now for a long time, for a couple of years now. Markets are doing what they're doing. It's already priced in, but we could see some continuation towards the upside in the shorter term. GLD also holding its momentum zone. Let me get it down to this low point here, and 299, 298. I connect this most recent swing low right around that same location for the 236. That's what we're looking at here, holding that upper range. Weekly time frame really expanded here. We're seeing a nice move in silver still. I've got a breakout here. We had that breakout on that weekly time frame a couple weeks back, still continuing that overall trend to the upside in silver. A couple stocks to consider today. You've got ATRO, which has got nice confirmation, increased volume, back into momentum. That's the overall setup that we're focusing on primarily. DDC, which is also a nice looking pattern here. Increased volume the last couple of days, back into momentum. A few stock ideas for you to consider today. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.